Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. The amazing, spectacular, fan-favorite VBS 5th rotation is finally here. Can you believe it, guys? I know I keep saying I've been really excited to get to, well, basically every event since Light Up the Fire, but I'm really excited for this one. Whip Yourself into Shape is ON's 5th focus event, running on the JP server from April 30th through May 7th, 2024. Before the official EN event name was released, the title of this event was Whip the Wimp Girl, which I think is funny. Lots of people also called this event the Anhane Breakup, including myself. Though I don't think people call it that anymore. They usually call it REKKA, which is the commissioned song. The English title is Blazing, but nobody calls it that, so REKKA. Please excuse the behavior I am about to display. I love REKKA! Oh my god, I love REKKA! This thing is so good! REKKA is undoubtedly my favorite ON commission and is probably my top 3 for VBS songs. Probably top 5 of all time, too. I love this song. REKKA, I am your #1 fan. There will be plenty of time for more fangirling in the outro, so I'll spare you for now. It's time for my Doomed Yuri.
それで私は何をしたらいいの？ありがとう、小羽。私と戦って。今、ここで。
What an opening, right? ON's task is to get all of Vivid Street behind her. All of the locals that watched her grow up and are still too stubborn to think that Rad Weekend could ever be surpassed. That event was made possible by the community, so this one needs to get the community involved as well. Right now they're not paying attention to VBS. Their promise to Nagi and guilt towards what they hid from ON for all those years is preventing them from really considering VBS as performers who have what it takes. ON's job is to convince them that VBS is worth backing. She has to be the one to do it too, for obvious reasons. Some of the more central figures on Vivid Street came to apologize to ON shortly after the events of Light Up the Fire, so even though Kohane is concerned about the mental toll this might take, ON knows that this is something only she can do. Ooh, ON room reveal! Finally! ON's room after all this time. ON decides to take the same route that Nagi did, firmly declaring her passion and goal in front of everyone, making heads turn the same way she did 3 years ago. So now she just needs to focus on improving. Oh, we're still in the past at this point? When I talk about the assignments, it's at that meeting that Ken had with everyone way back in Kohane 4, I think? They're still wearing their old outfits in these sections to show that this is a memory. That same night in the past, ON goes back to Weekend Garage to see if her dad is willing to watch her practice for a little. He agrees and ON starts out perfectly. But she needs to do better than this. Match Nagi's energy. No, surpass Nagi's energy. Like Kohane's performance at their second event. It flashes in ON's mind and suddenly her voice falters. Ken picks up on this. A slight hesitation that's covered up almost immediately, but enough of a bump for Ken to ask ON to stop in the middle of her song. This is something ON has been thinking about for a long time. Ken picks up on this whole situation being about Kohane right away. ON has been hung up about this for the longest time. She's just had to push it away recently. But now it's affecting her singing at an extremely crucial time for her, for all of them. To be honest, ON thought she'd gotten over this thing after talking with Akito and Miku a few events ago, but one sheep brought it all back. She can't go on like this. In order to move forward, ON needs to get closure and figure out this mess for good. ON brings everything up to Akito and Miku a few days later. Honestly, she feels kinda lame for making a big deal out of this. It's not really about what Kohane is doing or what she has done. It's more about how ON feels about it and how she's reacted to everything up until this point. Miku starts to protest when suddenly another voice pierces the alleyway. Luca storms over and forcefully tells ON that this isn't something to feel lame about. All of this just goes to show how much ON cares, right? About their goal, her community, and Kohane. Toya is also there. So now everyone knows except Kohane. Thankfully, ON isn't upset that Luca and Toya were eavesdropping and gets them in on the effort to fix her feelings. It's easy for Akito and Toya to say that ON's doubts are misplaced. And while that's absolutely true from an outside perspective, nothing can stop the what-if thoughts that are really making An doubt herself. Miku asks the boys for their opinions on Kohane's rapid growth. For them, her improvement is like extra motivation. Every time she reaches a new height, the boys are inspired to kick their efforts up a notch as well. Instead of feeling like they're fighting a losing battle against Kohane's skill, the boys see it as a challenge. An does feel similarly, but all of the self-doubt that's been accumulating over these past few months is starting to drown out those feelings of awe. Knowing the reason behind these feelings is one thing, but actually doing something about them is a completely different battle. Luca's solution is to just be upfront with Kohane. Communicate, tell her everything, and go from there. It's definitely the healthiest idea, but An doesn't think she can do it. She doesn't think she wants to tell Kohane, actually. Doing so might confuse her. Like, hey, you've been improving way too fast and I feel like you're leaving me behind. It's making me feel terrible. Would you want to hear that? Depends on who you are, but I can definitely see both sides of the situation. Unfortunately, it's almost time for practice, so they have to leave this conversation unfinished for now. Months pass. Nothing seems to be different. The only thing this little montage highlights is that Toya is picking up on An's apprehension when it slips through the cracks. Each passing day is another day that An feels worse about herself. It happened again today. Kohane promised to work even harder to reach their goal, but she's already working hard enough. An can't keep up. She can't give Kohane a genuine smile when she says things like that. She can't even look her in the eye. An is nearing her breaking point. Telling Kohane the truth might be the only solution at this point. Suddenly, though, she gets a message from Toya. They meet up at the Scramble Crossing, even though it's really late by this point. Toya's finally sorted out his observations and advice for what An should do. He wanted to tell her when it was just the two of them. Toya hasn't been able to get the way An looks when she's around Kohane out of his head. It reminded him of someone. He couldn't quite place it, until now. An reminds Toya of himself from when he tried to leave Bad Dogs. Toya tried to part ways with Akito without telling him anything. He was afraid. The truth would have been too much for Akito to bear, and Toya didn't think he could handle Akito's reaction. It would hurt too much. Doesn't An feel the same? Isn't she afraid of what Kohane will say if she tells her the truth? And yeah, Toya might be right. Most of all, An is afraid of letting Kohane down as her partner. An isn't blind. She knows how Kohane looks at her, how her eyes sparkle and her heart races. She always talks about how exciting An's singing is, how cool she is. But An isn't any of those things. She's scared and weak and not the role model Kohane thinks she is. An knows that if she told Kohane the truth, nothing would really change. Kohane would still probably look up to her and tell her how great she is all the time. Despite that, An still doesn't want Kohane to know. The real her? Nobody should have to know who that is. Keeping all of this bottled up, it's not for Kohane's sake. It's for An's. She was just trying to protect herself. Toya empathizes with An's feelings, he really does. But he only felt like he was Akito's real partner after he told him the truth. The initial act can be scary, but they'll both be better off if they communicate and are open about the truth. An smiles, nods, and thanks Toya. She'll need some time to think, but telling Kohane the truth might be the best course of action. While An is thinking about what to say, she wonders what her Aunt Nagi might have done in this situation. Nagi was such an assertive person. She'd say what she wanted and battle it out, maybe even through song. Wait, that's actually a really good idea. An isn't very good at talking, but she is good at singing. So here we are, back to the hook at the start of the event. The decisive battle for An to become Kohane's real partner. An finally expresses her feelings. She's intimidated by Kohane's rapid progress. She's scared that one day she won't be able to excite Kohane anymore. One day, she'll see how lame and sad An really is. When Kohane starts to protest, An cuts her off. She knows. Kohane would never feel that way about her. But still, knowing that fact doesn't get rid of the feelings of self-doubt. An didn't want to tell her all of this, but maybe she can get her feelings across through song. An has to stay ahead of Kohane, It's what her Aunt Nagi would have done. Sorry, An. The truth is, just now, I felt really happy for a moment. This is going to sound really weird, so I'm sorry, but I'm happy to hear that you want to win against me so badly. So, An, I accept. The boys plus Kotaro decided to get in a quick practice on their day off, but some commotion outside catches their eye. A crowd is gathering, and wait a second, is that Tatsuya Okazaki, aka the leader of Ever? Akito runs out of Weekend Garage and gives chase. The crowd surrounding An and Kohane blocks the entire street, and Tatsuya can't get his motorcycle out of the place he parked it in. After hearing that it's An and Kohane having a battle in the alleyway, Toya immediately knows what it's about. He, Akito, and Kotaro rush over, but not before inviting Ever to see An's resolve for themselves. Akitoya does crowd control and makes sure nobody in the audience tries to break up the fight. Obviously, a battle between An and Kohane is practically unheard of given their personalities, so many of the people on Vivid Street think something is seriously wrong. But this is something that An needs to do. These two are absolutely battling it out, good lord. An is smashing her own limits with her determination, and Kohane is going far beyond anything she's ever done on stage. All the while, both of their inner thoughts are filled with only admiration for the other. Neither An nor Kohane want to back down. Neither of them can lose here. As An kicks it up another notch, Tatsuya wonders why An would ever go this far. Toya asks him if he's ever felt afraid of someone singing. Well, yeah, obviously Taiga scared them all shitless. An has been scared this whole time. Not of Taiga, but her own partner. Doesn't it make sense that things would end up like this? Their current song finishes, and An finally registers the crowd she's amassed. She spots Akito, Toya, and Kotaro in the crowd, as well as Ever. This, too, is part of her assignment. She knew they'd all come to watch if she sang here. It's the same spot she used to practice with Nagi when she was little. So they'll settle it with this next song. For good. When Kohane sings, those who know her always ask just how high is her ceiling. Today is no different. Kohane keeps finding ways to go higher and higher, even just during this battle. It's scary, but it's completely exhilarating at the same time. Yes, An, I knew you could win! What an absolutely incredible performance from both of the Vivids. Even though Kohane lost, and she can't do anything about it, that doesn't mean she has to take it lying down. She asks An to battle again sometime soon. An gets it now. They'll fight. Sometimes An will win, sometimes Kohane will. What matters is that they're always pushing each other higher, always becoming that pillar for the other to reach towards. That's what it means to be a real partner. The crowd is still bouncing off the walls even after An and Kohane finish singing. Tatsuya comments that An won against herself. There's some sappy message about how he shouldn't have given up so easily, and how his actions thus far have just been an excuse. Clearly, only the people who give up everything they have to one goal are the ones who actually achieve it. They are afraid, but An was too, and she overcame that. So how about they quit running already, Welcome back, Ever. Welcome back to the quest for Rad Weekend. An addresses the crowd.
みんな聞いて 私たちはナギさんの夢の先に行く。私はナギさんが行けなかった場所にナギさんの思いを背負っていきたい。あの日ナギさんが私に託した願いに応えて。だからみんなも一緒についてきてよ。っていうかごちゃごちゃ考えないでついてきて。ナギさんの夢もみんなの願いも全部私たちが背負って進む。どんなに高い壁でも越えて進んでみせる。それでラッドウィーケンドでも見せられなかった景色をここにいる全員に見せてあげる。だからみんな私たちについてきて。
I hope you'll come along to witness the event that goes beyond the legend too. Wouldn't want to disappoint On now, would you? God, how do I even transition from that to the outro? Many of the VBS events have an ending like this, but for whatever reason, this one hit way harder. Maybe it's because On finally showed that vulnerability in a mature way, instead of it feeling like childish jealousy. She's really gone through a lot these past few months. Which is why REKKA is the definitive On commission. Yes, I am bringing this back to REKKA. You guys don't understand how much I love this song. Please go listen to it. It is so good, I promise. On's performance, the line distribution, the way she bounces back and forth with Kohane. Ugh, you guys please, it's so banger. Put REKKA in the VBS Hall of Fame. Now, it's nearly time. Grab your mics, your light sticks, and whatever else you need. The fateful day is upon us. Next up is Kohane's 5th focus, over Rad Squad. I'll see you then.